several top-rated annual events for the Christmas holidays. Many of them are covering well-known areas, well-known to go to for the holidays, especially for groups and group travel. The one I want to talk about today is probably among the top, if not the top, and has been for so many years. And it is, groups just love it. And I just wanted to share this with a good friend of mine who will give you his thoughts and ideas about this event. It's called the Winterfest, located in the heart of the Smoky Mountains in the Pigeon Forge area. And it's known because of the way it's celebrated. It's not celebrated by one community. There are not one, not two, but three communities that have gotten together to make this a special event. And the history and the how it got started and everything, it's just got a great story behind it. And I'd like to have a chance to have my dear friend share that with us today. Leon Downey with the Great Pigeon Forge Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's always great to have you on the show. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Terry. It's always a joy talking with you and your listeners.
Well,
we appreciate the opportunity to talk about Winterfest and what it means to our community.
Absolutely, and I know you've got some thoughts that you've composed here that you'd like to share with our listeners, and I want to have you share that. But before we get into that, I'd kind of like to let our listeners know that the reason why this is so different and so special, as I said, it's three communities. It's not just one. And there are more lights in this area, one area, because it's all three together. I think something like 15 million lights compared to the other areas. It's just like if you're flying over the United States, you see several areas. This area here just like a mega light. You can just see it right there. And
I think you could see it from space, probably. You're right.
I think you could, Leon. Well, Leon, why don't you just go ahead and share that with our listeners, some of the thoughts you have about why this is such a special place, a special enjoyment for the holiday season.
Thanks, Terry. Yeah, and then interrupt me anytime you want to. So basically right now, Pigeon Forge for years has been a year-round vacation destination, but in the 1980s, we experienced tremendous drops in visitation from November through February after the beautiful fall foliage fell off the trees in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And when Dollywood, our most visited attraction here in our city and in our county, closed its doors at the end of October, there just wasn't a whole lot going on for when the two major attractions closed for the smaller businesses to keep their doors open. So they would actually lay off their employees. I'm talking about mom and pop hotels and restaurants and attractions for probably 4 or 5 months. And it was so the visitation was so slow here that we actually put our traffic lights on blink. It was that bad. And so we started looking at what we as a community could do to address this issue, and we looked at what other communities around the country were doing to attract visitors during the winter season. And we discovered that lots of communities had been successful bringing people into their community by doing Christmas or holiday lighting programs during the month of December. So we liked that idea, but we decided that what we would do here is rather than just putting our lights up for a month, we would leave our lights up all the way from November through February to give people a reason to come. And, of course, we knew that they wouldn't come if we just had lights, possibly. So each of the three communities started doing winter events, new events, to give people a reason to come. And it grew and became very successful over the years. And consequently, what we decided to do is not call ours holiday lights or Christmas lights, but Winterfest lights. And so we also thought that if we included our sister cities of Gatlinburg and Sevierville in the winter lighting program, that it would be much more impactful for our guests rather than just doing it in our city of Pigeon Forge alone. And so Gatlinburg and Sevierville agreed to participate with us, and then once we had them on board, then we went to Dollywood, the largest attraction here in our community, and asked them if they would consider extending their season from the end of October until the end of December. and they agreed to do that. So it was really a big boost to have Dollywood on board. And we all agreed then, the three cities, that the symbol of Winterfest, Smoky Mountain Winterfest, would be a lighted snowflake. And we envisioned that one day we'd have lighted snowflakes all the way from Interstate 407 on the Interstate 4, or exit 407 on the Interstate 40, all the way through both cities to the entrance of Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and that's about 17 miles, I think, is what that distance would be. So the first Winterfest took place November of 1990 through February of 1991. And today, we estimate that the three cities, like you should mentioned earlier, collectively display more than 15 million winter lights. And Dollywood puts up another 5 million winter lights. So it truly is a winter wonderland. It's just, most people love holiday lights, and so we love what it's done. So in my humble opinion, Smoky Mountain Winterfest has become the county's shining star. And by cooperating with our sister cities and business partners, we've been able to change what was an off season and turn it into a major shoulder season for visitation. And it's really helped us to become a year-round destination that group tours and families enjoy coming to experience not only the beautiful holiday winter lights, but also the holiday shows and amazing shopping varieties that we have here. So it's just the best way to find out more information about Winterfest is to go each of the three cities' websites, and that's Gatlinburg.com, and visit Sevierville.com, and mypigeonforge.com, and go to their events pages, and you'll find out what they have to offer in each of their communities during the winter season.
Well, Leon, you have said a lot in a short period of time, my friend. Kudos to you, and I'm glad that you had a chance to share that with our listeners. I think a couple of thoughts come to mind, and that is that when you were talking about the how it came to be and what's taken place and that brought it up to today, truly it is the place to go that has the largest number of light displays. If you want to see Christmas lights, Linda, and go to Leon, and go to a town that has a lot of lights and people like to do that, this is a place to go because everything, I think you probably have every blade of grass. If there's something to light the light on there, you'll put a light on it. So it's got
exactly
to that.
Right. We have the city has invested every year for as long as I can remember about $100,000 in new lighting displays. So we have at least 3 warehouses full of Winterfest lights. We have 3 full-time employees that work on Winterfest lights year-round, and I'm sure the Gatlinburg and Sevierville will have the same type of city staffing because it's become such a major part of our visitation here. So it's exciting, and in my opinion, again, it's probably the most successful things that the 3 cities have done collectively in the time that I've worked in Pigeon Forge in 33 years.
Well, you said it's year-round. I mean, the ending of the season, of course, goes not just 1 month, which is December, which happens in most places that celebrate the holidays. Maybe some November, December, but not November,
Right.
December. I mean, January, and then go through February. I mean, that's a long period of time, folks, that you can come and enjoy the area. If you're in the East Coast, believe me, you have no excuse. You'll have the opportunity to go over to enjoy this one-of-a-kind experience. Well, I want to tell you, Leon, I've got something else for you, and I want you to share this with your other great partners, Sevierville and Gatlinburg. I'm giving you the award of one of the great, not-to-be-missed attractions in America. I'm giving you one of the greatest attractions annually that happen in America for Winterfest.
Well, thank you. That's we appreciate that. Any recognition we can get only brings more people here and more motor coach groups, and we're glad to see motor coach starting to come back into our community again. So it's like I said, it's an exciting time, and it's a beautiful time to visit this during the Winterfest season.
And there's lots of information to get at different times when you would want to visit this great holiday event. And why don't you give those websites out one more time, Leon?
Sure. It is Gatlinburg.com, visit Sevierville.com, and mypigeonforge.com. Any one of those three, they will have information about their individual city events. There's not currently one website that lists all three cities. We have those on occasion when we have special activities going on that the three cities sponsor, but you can go to either one of those, Gatlinburg.com, visit Sevierville.com, or mypigeonforge.com, and go to their events pages and find out everything you need to know about Smoky Mountain Winterfest.
Well, again, one of the greatest attractions annually in America is the Winterfest in the Smokies. And Leon Downey and his great partners in Sevierville and Gatlinburg, I want to congratulate them again. And Leon, thank you for sharing the great history and story behind Winterfest. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Terry. We appreciate the opportunity.